I remember my first festival. I went with my friends from university. It was in England. And I was supposed to have a really good, really good time. It was supposed to be fun, going to festival. It was some sort of conscious music festival. And it was a disaster. I really, felt so sensitive, overstimulated. I felt like I was taking energies from people. It was just too much. There was too many people. Most importantly, I felt like all my friends had all these connections and they seemed to have a really good time. And I felt completely like left out, not included. I felt like I didn't belong there and there was no place to hide. And so I remember one whole evening, I just spent the whole evening in the tent pretending I was having a spiritual moment. And after that, obviously, I didn't go to festivals. I was like, no, that's just like, I'm more introverted and I'd rather not to go. I don't like big crowds. And then I tried again after about 10 years. I tried again because I wanted to learn about open love. And that point of my life was when I was feeling a lot of jealousy and anxiety. And I thought that if I get into all that open love movement, then I will learn how to go through that so I can be really, at ease around people. And it was traumatic. I remember being at this festival, or being at a couple of them, where my boyfriend or partner, lover, was just flirting with everyone, or these women. And I felt so small inside. And I felt I couldn't even make any connection with anyone else because I just constantly felt really, again, completely left out, felt miserable, tortured. And I couldn't stop comparing myself to all these women. It was really a torture. So I decided that, festivals are really not for me. They're just traumatizing. And I'm highly sensitive, so I, shouldn't really be going to them. And after that, I've done so much work on myself and still was feeling anxious around, a lot of people, big groups, festivals, places where there is no place to hide. And so actually what's really changed for me was after my spiritual awakening, things started falling into place. And I have developed a really strong base. I call it base alignment. And I've become a coach, actually coaching other people about base alignment. And so this time I went to a festival recently, and I want to tell you shortly about my experience at this festival. This time, it was just totally different experience. I went there, and instead of bringing fears, I just brought ideas. I felt so inspired being there around people. I have truly just fell in love with all of these people. And what I did was we started Cardboard University, and we were wearing these cardboards with some signs, and people who wanted to have workshops, for people who wanted walking workshops, we helped them to do their workshops. I was doing my workshop. I was the reality check. So this is like an emotional station for people who feel something like negative emotions.
I wish you had me
breakdowns,
yesterday.
crying.
I needed you yesterday so bad.
Oh, really? Yeah, and
hopefully I'll find you if I need you
the
again.
reality check.
Thank you.
So through all these ideas, and through supporting other people and making them really loved and included, I felt really loved and included. And there was actually one moment when I felt anxiety, and that was when I was there with my boyfriend, and we were dancing in this one moment where this blonde, long hair girl, like she just pulled him like with his hand, and they kind of like, she was like really grabbing him and like trying to like do something with him. And in that moment, I just felt this panic, this anxiety just coming up. And in that moment, I imagined, what they're gonna be doing, and that they have more connection than me. So I just moved away from them, and then I lost them. So when I lost them, I started imagining, oh my God, now they're having this amazing connection. They're probably somewhere on the side, just flirting. And immediately I snapped out of that, and I came back into my base and into reality, what was actually happening. And I realized, wow, like what a story I'm creating. What is actually happening is like, I'm having such a good time. Like, look, this is my favorite music. And, I looked around and people had big smiles on their faces. They were just so enjoying themselves. I was like, oh, great. And, there's a difference between suppressing and actually really letting go of something. And we cannot actually suppress something. Like, it's impossible. If you suppress something, it's going to come out in some other ways. And before, I would be suppressing everything. I would be suppressing my anxiety. And then when my boyfriend comes back, I would be kind of like being cold to him, or would be blaming him, or would be accusing him, or just withdrawing from him and going inside my head. And, you know, that's why I love the base alignment, because I come back to my core, feel safe, supported, and connected to my truth. And, you know, half an hour, my boyfriend comes back. I just feel him. He hugs me from the back. And so I looked at him and just gave him this warmest hug. It was just so much love. And he told me that he couldn't find me for half an hour. You know, he was looking for me everywhere. And I was like, yeah, I kind of disappeared. It was actually, I disappeared, because I kind of like went away, and then the crowd changed a little bit. And so we reconnected. And it was just so beautiful. And this whole experience of festival just really was so heart-opening. And, you know, I'm almost moved to tears just thinking about like how much love we can generate when we feel safe, when we find that belonging and that home within, because it's just an experience that, you know, otherwise I wouldn't have. Otherwise I would just say, okay, no festivals forever. And this time I said yes to festivals. And what was actually possible for me was, you know, so much enjoyment, so much ecstasy and bliss and connection, and such beautiful time with my boyfriend.